So today's shloka is the 38th shloka of chapter 3.
Sloka yesterday she did Mataji.
Okay, so 39 huh, today?
Yep.
All right, sorry about that. Okay, so today's shloka is 39. Avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha. So please recite after me. Avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha. Avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha. Avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha. Word for word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Avritam, covered, jnanam, pure consciousness, etena, by this, jnaninaha, of the knower, nitya vairina, by the eternal enemy, kama rupena, in the form of lust, kaunteya, O son of Kunti, dushpurena, never to be satisfied, analena, by the fire, cha, also. Translation. Thus, the wise living entities, pure consciousness, becomes covered by his eternal enemy,
becomes
covered
covered by
by
the
his
the form of lust,
in the form of
form
lust,
of lust,
which is never satisfied
which is
never
never
satisfied,
satisfied,
and which burns like fire.
and burns like
which
fire.
burns like fire.
Mm. So yesterday's shloka would have been a little bit of a difficult shloka to understand, where the Lord talks about the 3 degrees of lust, indicating the difficulties that we encounter with lust. Lust is our eternal enemy. So yesterday the Lord used 3 analogies to talk about the 3 different degrees of lust, which is fire covered by smoke, mirror covered by dust, embryo covered by the womb. So this fire covered by smoke is akin to having a human body, but with the opportunity to reduce the smoke and make the fire a blazing fire, which means it gives you the opportunity to awaken your Krishna consciousness, your pure consciousness. The mirror covered by dust is compared to those who are occupying the bodies of animals. There is less of a chance for them to come into pure consciousness. And the worst kind of lust is something that completely ties you up and binds you up, such that it puts you in the total mode of ignorance, which is compared to that of being like trees. Trees have almost no consciousness. They have consciousness, but it is very, very bare minimum. So the Lord here in today's shloka is saying, all our consciousness is pure originally. There's no doubt about that. But we have become contaminated when we came into contact with Prakriti. And Prakriti is nothing but the 3 modes of material nature, the Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamogun. What is contaminating for us, as we discussed in one of the earlier shlokas, is that when we come into contact with material nature, we get attracted to so many things through our sense objects. And it is this mode of passion that attracts you to these various sensory objects, that as the attachment increases, it sends you down into the lower mode, which is the mode of ignorance. That is the problem. But if you are aligned with the Vedic scriptures, then you will understand that lust is going to be your eternal enemy. And you will also know how you can get out of this lustful tendencies. How do you elevate yourself first to the Shuddha Gun, Sattva Gun? The first step that we have to take to elevate ourselves to the Sattva Gun stage is to follow the scriptures. That's the first step, which is there are so many do's and don'ts for us. There are so many samskaras for us that we need to observe. These are all considered purifying. They purify your lust and bring you to the stage of Sattvagun. This Sattvagun stage becomes the platform for you to transcend these 3 gunas and get to the Shuddha Sattva platform, which is the Sattva Gun stage prepares you to practice Bhakti Yoga. Of course, one can practice Bhakti Yoga when you are under the influence of any guna, and it will be purifying and it will be effective. So here the Lord is explaining our consciousness is contaminated by lust. Lust, the Lord has already said, is born of the mode of passion. Passion means activity, creation. And the Lord is saying this passion, this lust, can never be satisfied. He says it burns like fire. It's impossible to quench this kind of thirst that we have. So, Prabhupada writes in the purport that it's like pouring fuel onto fire and expecting the fire to go down. So the only way one can reduce one's lust for things is by actually practicing Krishna consciousness, by following the Vedic scriptures. So here the Lord is warning us that why is he calling lust our eternal enemy? Because as long as you keep feeding and satisfying your desires, you're like keeping the fire of lust alive. So if we want to douse this fire, we have to practice Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga.